Greetings, fellow fragrance friends and lovers. What is your scent of the day? For me, I'm going to be reviewing and sharing with you Illusions Captive. I want to always make sure, and I want to look at the bottle and make sure I say it right. And from the house of Lalique, this is a high-end, one of their boutiques, and their beautiful crystal glass. Before we get into the review, let's admire the presentation. I don't always talk about the presentation. What matters is the juice inside. But is this not a stunning presentation? Is that not just magnificent? If you went to a boutique, you would be stunned. I would be stunned. The cap isn't heavily weighted. There is a little bit of a metal collar here, but it's beautiful. It's got a very nice design, and I'll waste one spray just to share with you. It's a very fine mist. It's kind of windy, so hopefully you saw that. Beautiful fragrance, though. Illusions Captive. We'll talk about if they captured that idea. Illusions Captive, so like a shadow you control, or maybe because you show you know, a different side of yourself, like an illusions. It's like seductive, and maybe you captivate somebody. Let me know what's your interpretation of that. Anyways, let's talk about the fragrance. First off, there's some lime off the top. Wasn't expecting the lime. It kind of goes into this fresh liquid lime, almost like it wants to be an aquatic lime. It's not overtly salty or anything like that, but it's different. And I like the opening, that it's refreshing, because the rest of the fragrance is going to be, you know, it adds a little bit of lift and some balance to this very seductive, very smooth fragrance. You get some fig leaves off the top, so don't think it's fig fruit. Don't think it's overtly fruity or overtly figgy. It actually gives a papery aspect, almost like a wood would, and gives a really nice smoothness, almost adding to maybe a slightly suede effect to this fragrance. That's just the top notes. There's so much more. The biggest aspect of this fragrance is jasmine. There's no doubt about that. The jasmine here is very creamy, very smooth, and it's kind of modern though. This fragrance, you know, is more of a musk style fragrance. So some people like really bold, heavy, rich fragrances, gourmand ambers, and all kinds of other fragrance styles of fragrances. This is more of a musk, but it's a full-bodied, full-intensity musk, if that makes sense. There's incense, there's labdanum and myrrh, giving, and the myrrh especially, adding more of that purple quality with the jasmine here, adding some gorgeous, sophisticated, refined, seductive qualities to this fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous. This fragrance is kind of interesting, though. It has some patchouli. And I don't get a lot of the patchouli, but I do get a little bit of that fancy edge, like maybe a fresher, cleaner patchouli. A little bit of that fancy patchouli mixed in the background. There's also another sneaky note you might not notice at first. It's cinnamon. And you might think, if you're familiar with some designer fragrances that are very bold on the cinnamon, you might say that there's no cinnamon in this fragrance, but there is. It's actually Ceylon cinnamon. They're giving you some really high quality notes, and one of them is that cinnamon note. If you don't know, a little bit of a quick lesson, Ceylon cinnamon is the only true cinnamon out there, and it's actually a lot more smooth and refined, and it's not as sharp, it's not as aggressive as the cinnamon that a lot of us are familiar with. So it adds a signature smooth warmth. There's not a lot of it, but there is some that adds a little bit of warmth to this fragrance, but this fragrance still feels very seductive, and in a more of a cool, smooth, maybe Parisian, you know, a French kind of the sense of the word. Maybe like Cherigui does it. It doesn't smell like Cherigui, but if you've ever smelled Cherigui by Serge Lutens, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is a unique kind of musk fragrance. There's not a lot of them that are so full-bodied. At the end of the video, I'll reference maybe one that I've smelled that reminded me of what this fragrance could do for you, but it's a completely different fragrance. So this is its own fragrance. There's not a lot of high-quality musk on the market, especially that smell this high. Again, the quality and the craftsmanship and the blending. I do want to tell you, if you are getting interested in this fragrance, that this is very unisex, very, very unisex, but this is definitely a fragrance that some people might find more on the feminine territory. And I've seen some people say that. I tested this fragrance with a few people around me, and they felt the exact same way. So if you're a guy who's comfortable with things like Portrait of a Lady or Oud Ispahan, you would be comfortable with this perhaps, but a lot of guys might not be. But ladies, that gives you a wonderful opportunity to get yourself a sophisticated, musky fragrance. Also, you might be afraid of incense. Maybe you don't like those bold, spicy, loud incense fragrances. This is a very soft, almost not exactly delicate. There's confidence behind it, but it's alluring. So, not a fragrance that's weak or timid or shy by any means, but it's definitely again got that demure. You know, maybe a lady who likes to dress herself up, and maybe, you know, really pretty, and maybe like a doll, and you don't have to say a lot. It's great. A fragrance, again, I mentioned for those kinds of ladies, another fragrance is Petite Chérie from, was it Goutal? Anyways, this is a fantastic fragrance. Can't say enough good about it, but it's not going to be for everybody. This is a unique style and a unique preference of fragrance that not everybody might want, but it's an experience. So if you do go to a boutique, and if you do get to see these fragrances, do try them and do experience this fragrance for yourself. If you're on a budget, if you want a good cheapie, and you want a very sophisticated but affordable musk fragrance for you gents out there, try Davidoff's Silver Shadow. Not as high quality certainly as this, but it'll give you a similar effect for a much more affordable price. It's one of the only fragrances that I can think of that has done anything even remotely like this. So again, jasmine lovers, see what this fragrance can do for you. If you do love jasmine, it's not a night blooming jasmine, it's not the loudest jasmine, but it's got jasmine nonetheless. So what else do we got going on over here? In this fragrance, you're going to get solid performance. You're going to get 8, 9, maybe a little bit more, you know, longevity out of this fragrance. Projection, I would say, is about average, but sillage above average. So it doesn't reach and leap out there. Somebody's going to have to be arm's length or maybe a little bit closer in, and they'll definitely notice this fragrance and they'll be tantalized, and I think they would be seduced in an interesting way. Very nice fragrance. The thing is, when you walk past people, this leaves a trail, and it's a very interesting trail. If you're familiar with movies of the past, maybe 80s or 70s or something, this is what a foxy lady fragrance. If you know what I'm saying, a lady who's mysterious and cunning and maybe a little bit petite. This fragrance to me speaks to that. Really nice. I like the personality. I can see who's wearing this fragrance. So with the compliment factor, it's fresh enough. It has lime. It's jasmine. It's not heavy or overbearing or overtly unique. So I like how the jasmine comes through. There's this papery elements that gives it some almost a leathery. There's so much character and textures, but it still remains so smooth. So this is a very likable fragrance. There's some incense and there's some warmth. There's a lot to like here. But again, it's not bodacious. It's not in your face. It's not a designer-like fragrance where it's going to demand or beg and shout for attention. This is sophisticated. This is very high quality. So getting into my final thoughts, not everybody is going to appreciate and go out of their way to buy a fragrance like this. I completely understand that. This is an expensive fragrance. It's about $320 for a musk. And there's a lot of musk out there, and most people would say use musk for layering. You think musk are an afterthought. Musk are optional, disposable. Maybe you think musk are cheap. This is a fragrance that can prove to you that musk is a style of fragrance that can bring it to you, that can do the magic, and it can do exactly what you want it to do. But I don't feel like everybody wants to pay this kind of money. Again, if you're a guy watching this, I know a lot of guys watch my channel. Davidoff's Silver Shadow, once again, for about $20, $25, $30 can do what you want a fragrance like this to do, maybe more masculine. And it's affordable and it's respectable. It's pretty good for what it is. It's not the best fragrance ever, but Davidoff's Silver Shadow can do it. This fragrance here reminded me of what Cabane could do by Yves Saint Laurent. That fragrance is more focused on benzoin, and it doesn't have great longevity, but it's also a very interesting, sophisticated, and seductive fragrance. If you were a lady who didn't want to shout, you know, be seductive or shout, come and get me, you know, and but you wanted to be very attractive, and alluring, Caban, something like that, or this could work for you. I would recommend this fragrance, honestly, less in the past. If this would have been a year ago or a year and a half ago, I might have highly recommended Peruvian Ambrette by Zegna, but that fragrance is discontinued and goes for $100 to $150 plus if you can even find a bottle. So Peruvian Ambrette focuses more on the note of ambrette as the musky element, but it's very beautiful. It's very well done for the price. And it used to be an amazing deal and a discontinued fragrance now, but it used to be an amazing deal and a value for the money. You could find a bottle for about 60 odd bucks, and it was amazing for that. But I do like what Lalique did here. I want to take away from it because it's so expensive, but I kind of feel like I can't. When a fragrance does what it's supposed to, when the blending is absolutely on point, what it's supposed to do, when the presentation is this well done, and it comes with a coffret, like a lacquered box, it's stunning. It screams luxury, and I was kind of almost didn't even want to touch the box because you'll leave fingerprints on it. This fragrance is impressive to me. But again, it's not a fragrance that's going to exactly blow a lot of people away. This is a soft-spoken fragrance, if this makes sense. The last point of reference I want to make that maybe will give you a little bit of understanding is maybe you guys out there love Oud Royale from Creed. Maybe you do. It's soft and sophisticated, and it's kind of warming at the same time. It's comforting. If you wanted your lady to have the equivalent fragrance of Oud Royale that you love so much, get this fragrance for your lady. Or ladies, maybe you gifted that fragrance, or maybe you smelled Oud Royale on a guy and you thought it was special and comforting and smooth, and you love that soft-spoken, refined nature of what that a fragrance can have. Treat yourself. I think you would like this one. So I'm not hyping this one up. This is going to be for a select amount of people. This is not going to be for everybody. But again, it is wearable. It is a very wearable fragrance for sure. So what can I say? Final thoughts. I've already spoken a lot. I've already said an awful lot in this fragrance review. Jasmine lovers, definitely try this, and musky fragrance lovers. If you love jasmine or musk, or if you love jasmine and musk, and if you love soft incense style fragrances, this is a must try. I definitely recommend you try it. So, Lalique, I wanted to beat up on you. I kind of did for some odd reason. You know, trying their fragrances, when it's so expensive, you want to find a little bit of area that you can critique. There's not much that I can critique out of this fragrance. Maybe give us a little bit better projection. I like really full body fragrances. Would I like a little bit of amber snuck up in here? I would. Would I like it to be spicier? Do I like my spice? Yeah. But this is a great creation. This does what it's supposed to. So, Illusions Captive, Lalique, you did it. If you want to sell on this fragrance, if you want a discount, again, I don't get any money back. Use my code Centaur15 at soavantgarde.com. They're an online boutique. They sell beautiful fragrances. They're trusted. They're good people. And I don't get money back. And the only reason, again, I agreed to even have that discount code exist was to give you 50% off. And, you know, help them continue to want to perhaps work with me. Because I'm very grateful that they would. Again, they sent this to me. But again, I've already told you. I've been honest. Not for everybody. So again, I hope that you enjoyed my fragrance review today. Let me know what you think about this fragrance down below. I'll include down below the website if you want to check out, research more of the Lalique high-end fragrances. They're certainly worth checking out. And let me know what you think down below. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the fragrance review soon. Have a beautiful day. Peace out and bye.